Valdo, the notebook you must find is one of Leonardo da Vinci's major works. The manor, where it is surely hidden, is now occupied by a young woman close to the King of France. I have informed her of your visit, telling her that you were a pupil of Francesco Melzi. In fact, this is only a half-lie, since you really were his pupil.
Find out why I accepted this proposal from a man I don't know. Of course, I need the money, but I also need a change of air. To leave Florence and cock a snoop at Francesco, who dismissed me on the spot from his workshop.
This way, sir. I'll take you to your room. Madame Babou would have liked to welcome you, but she had to go away.
But what really attracts me to set off on this adventure is curiosity. I've always been attracted by what's morally off-limits. Something tells me that it's exactly this ambiguity that makes me the ideal candidate for this investigation. I would have been delighted to have met my host, but all said and done, this delay's to my advantage. The road's clear for a short evening visit. I might even be able to find Leonardo's study tonight from the outset. You seem very wary. I've got enough for the time being. It's no use, I've got one already. It's too dark and everything's cluttered. I'll visit this room tomorrow. However, I'd like to find Leonardo's study. It must be on the first floor. Very well, if I can't manage to enter the study through the door, this ladder will help me get in another way. The garden seems much larger than I thought. I'll visit it as soon as day breaks. I've got enough. Perfect. I just hope it's solid enough. That's what I was looking for, Leonardo's study. This is certainly the place where I'll find a clue as to the whereabouts of the notebook. This celestial globe is magnificent. I knew Da Vinci was interested in the stars, but I didn't expect to find such a rare object here. Dear Madame Babou de la Bordesière, I cannot thank you enough for accommodating Valdo Francesco Melzi's talented apprentice. As I've already explained to you in my previous letters, he's come to improve his knowledge of Leonardo da Vinci by studying the machine still at Cloux Manor. Francesco's also asked him to find one of the sketches of the Battle of Angahari, which vanished after the master's death. I would be grateful if you could help him, as you know Leonardo's world so well. My kindest regards. No signature. The man who hired me is determined to remain anonymous. Madame de la Bordesière must have dropped it. It's really splendid. What a shame that a stone is missing from it. This must be Leonardo's room. It matches the description that Francesco gave me when I still worked at his studio. The study must be near. I've never seen such signs on furniture before. They must have a meaning. The Path of Pleasures. I must be close to the study. I have to find a way of getting into it. It's no use, I've got one already. The sign for water. The sign for earth. The sign for air. The sign for fire. At the foot of the sacred fire of the House of Dreams. Leonardo was a very secretive man. What's the point of hiding a clockwork mechanism in this way? Especially since it doesn't seem to work. Unless it's just the clue I was seeking.
Amboise, 23rd of April, 1519. I leave all my works to Francesco Melzi. My vines and meagre savings shall be shared amongst my brothers and Salai. But what to do with this codex? Even Francesco wouldn't know how to use it. Perhaps it would be better for it to fall into oblivion. No, one day someone will know how to put it to good use. I would have liked to have gone on till the end of this adventure. There's still so much to discover. Neither avarice nor negligence held me back. It was just time.
The dream was so poignant it was real. Am I losing my mind, or is this place haunted by Leonardo's ghost? And what if he didn't leave the codex here? I don't want anything weighing on my conscience. It was easy to find the study, though I must have missed so much in the dark of the night. Perhaps I should make a new foray and have a word with the housekeeper in order to put my investigations on the right track.
Good morning, sir. Did you have a good night?
Yes, thank you.
Madam returned early this morning. She's resting at the moment, but she'll receive you during the day. You can visit the garden in the meantime. It's one of the most beautiful in the region.
It's true, it's very pleasant. All that's missing is a fountain. Otherwise it would be perfect.
Leonardo da Vinci had planned to install one in the pool, but he didn't have the time. It seems that some of his research is still in his workshops.
Thank you, Saturnin. I'll have a look.
It's all right, Mr. Valdo, but don't be too indiscreet all the same.
Pardon?
It was I that stowed away the ladder you used for your nighttime exploration. I doubt that Madam would be pleased to learn that you've already entered her apartments without being invited.
I see, but there's no reason why she should learn about it, is there?
It's difficult, sir. I'm in Madam's service, and I'm not used to hiding anything from her. Why, you seem a pleasant person. But you must understand, it's a question of conscience.
So what could I do to relieve your conscience, Saturnin?
Nothing, sir. Though a few coins might help me to forget.
Do you know if Madame de la Bourdissière has kept any of Leonardo's works?
It's possible. She's very interested in Da Vinci's works. But if you want to know, you'll have to persuade her to let you visit her apartments. And that risks being no mean affair. Who knows? Perhaps you'll be able to find the words and gifts capable of softening her heart.
Is there a way of visiting the rest of the garden on the other side of the canal?
Unfortunately, the bridge hasn't worked for nearly a year. I have to take the grain to be milled in the village. The mill's on the other bank. It can't be in very good condition after all this time.
Is there a dovecot at the bottom of the garden?
Yes, there is one, though I doubt whether the birds come anymore.
You don't know how to restore the bridge to working order?
No, sir. If I did, I would have done it before. All that I know is that it no longer revolves. It's a shame. It was very practical.
It's really a shame. I must find a way of getting to the dovecot. I'm sure a message is waiting for me there. Perhaps it would be better to pay him. If he talks to Madame Babou, my journey risks coming to an early end and my reward will vanish. Anyway, it might make him more cooperative. Ow! I've got enough for the time being. I've got enough for the time being. I've got enough for the time being. This wall must be just behind the bookcase in Leonardo's room.
Good day, Valdo. I'm delighted to make your acquaintance.
Good day, madam.
Come nearer. Don't stay fixed to the ground like that. I'm honored to receive one of Francesco's best pupils. I've heard so many good things about you.
Thank you, though one should beware of rumours.
I've heard about your talent, and it's a pleasant surprise to learn that you have wit as well. Whatever the case, I see that you've not wasted any time in visiting the manor. According to Saturnin, you've made yourself at home.
I admit that I was curious to discover Leonardo's study.
And what did you find there?
A few forgotten sketches, though much of the manor is closed. Would you be so kind as to take me for a visit?
There's nothing else to visit. With Leonardo's apartments and his workshops, you already have access to his entire world.
You're right, I also noticed some machines that don't work. With your permission, I'd like to restore them.
Please don't hesitate. But it would really please me if you were to install a fountain in the courtyard. Leonardo had planned to do it, though never completed it. I think there is an old and unusable bridge that leads to the other part of the garden. I think it was he who designed it.
I'll see what I can do.
I'm delighted to have a specialist of Leonardo to restore the treasures around me. But that isn't the reason why you've come from so far away.
Indeed, I'm looking for one of the last sketches of the Battle of Anghiari.
I don't think that you'll find it at Cloux. After having lived here for a year, I hardly think it would have escaped me.
Obviously, but I must try nonetheless.
Do as you think fit. In any case, if you're seeking information on Da Vinci's machines, I've seen the plates like this one. Leonardo prepared them, ready for printing. I don't know what they contain, but they may be of use to you.
Thank you, madam. I shall go and see.
Haven't you anything to give me before taking your leave?
Yes, I almost forgot. I have a letter for you.
Thank you, Valdo. You may leave. I slept little last night and would like to rest a while. We shall resume this conversation later. Please excuse me, but I'm not in the mood for chatting. I would like to rest.
I must make the key for which I found the mould. It must be the key that opens this cupboard.
You're wearing a very smart doublet, Valdo. Very elegant. I like my guests to show themselves at their best.
Thank you, madam. You flatter me. But in spite of this doublet, I pale into insignificance beside you.
A charming tongue to boot.
You misinterpret my intentions. I'm certain you're no frivolous woman who would allow herself to be seduced by a few compliments. I admit I've not been very original, but I'm sure I'm not the first to find you beautiful.
You're clever. It's strange, you remind me of Saleh.
Who is this Saleh? The name seems familiar to me.
Quite. In fact, I'm amazed that Melzi didn't tell you about him. Though perhaps Leonardo's two protégés didn't get on so well with each other. Saleh was Da Vinci's great favorite, his diabolical lover. He was handsome and intelligent, but also a liar, a thief, and even a counterfeiter. He stayed in the room where you are lodged.
So it was he that inherited Leonardo's vineyards and belongings in Italy?
Precisely. He shared all his material belongings between Saleh and his brothers. All his writings went to his best pupil, Francesco Melzi, your master.
I've heard that one of Leonardo's notebooks went missing.
And you think it can be found here?
No, it may be just hearsay, though I admit to being intrigued.
I share your curiosity and have searched the manor myself in the hope of finding it, but without success. If Leonardo left a secret behind, it is certainly well kept.
You're undoubtedly right. You seem to know a lot about Da Vinci. I wondered whether you might have certain works of his. The originals are very rare and I'm a very curious person.
El Diablo, a true Saleh, charming and cunning. I can see through your game, young man, but it's not so easy to invite oneself into the apartments of a lady. Return to your research. We'll speak of that later.
Who is this Saleh? The name seems familiar to me.
Quite. In fact, I'm amazed that Melzi didn't tell you about him. Though perhaps Leonardo's two protégés didn't get on so well with each other. Saleh was Da Vinci's great favorite, his diabolical lover. He was handsome and intelligent, but also a liar, a thief, and even a counterfeiter. He stayed in the room where you are lodged.
So it was he that inherited Leonardo's vineyards and belongings in Italy?
Precisely. He shared all his material belongings between Saleh and his brothers. All his writings went to his best pupil, Francesco Melzi, your master.
I've heard that one of Leonardo's notebooks went missing.
And you think it can be found here?
No, it may be just hearsay, though I admit to being intrigued.
I share your curiosity and have searched the manor myself in the hope of finding it, but without success. If Leonardo left a secret behind, it is certainly well kept.
I wondered whether you might have certain works of his. The originals are very rare and I'm a very curious person.
El Diablo, a true Saleh, charming and cunning. I can see through your game, young man, but it's not so easy to invite oneself into the apartments of a lady. Return to your research. We'll speak of that later.
I insist, but would be delighted if you invited me to visit your apartments. Of course, it's fair and above board. I'm sure that you're storing treasures in it.
You're exaggerating, though I do have several of Leonardo's drawings. You shouldn't be so impatient. It's bordering on rudeness. I'm not at all in the mood to let you visit my apartments.
I insist, but would be delighted if you invited me to visit your apartments.
You don't seem to understand, young man. When I say no, there's no point in trying to change my mind.
I've got enough. It's locked. Leonardo obviously used this press to print the plates he made. If I find some paper, I should be able to do likewise. A jack, interesting, but it doesn't seem to work. It's no good, it's come off its hinges. I risk tearing everything by doing it this way. Strange. What could these nails be used for? I've nothing to paint for the moment.
So, Leonardo, where are you with this canal project?
Making progress, Your Majesty, making progress, but it's a considerable project. Supplying canals from a river as capricious as the Loire and designing all the locks is no mean task. I'm trying to achieve a harmonious development in addition to draining the region. Naturally, irrigation systems are needed, but so are pools and fountains.
I'm sure you're doing your best.
I've also made a prototype for one of the fountains I'd like to install. It's based on a model from classical times. You must see it. It's still in the barn, as I haven't had time to install it.
I suppose you must be working on the project nearly all day and night. By the way, have you made any progress on the question about which we spoke the other day?
A little, Majesty, but I'm not sure whether it's in my competencies. If you don't mind my saying so, you need one of those crazy alchemists for such research.
I know your reticence, my friend, but your unique mind may be better than any other for finding a solution to this thorny problem.
Strange reminiscences. Leonardo and the King of France. If I believe what I saw, Da Vinci had already built his fountain. Perhaps it's still in the barn. However, I wonder what Francois I wanted Leonardo to work on. I shouldn't stay around here without protection. I've got enough. That's strange. According to Saturnin, nobody comes here anymore, though it doesn't look completely abandoned. Who could be interested in this building? It's of no use at the moment. Oh, it's heavy, but I should be able to move it by using a lever. No message. No message. No message. No message.
Hello, Valdo, and welcome to Cloux Manor. I have learned that Madame Babou de la Bourdesière possesses the works of Leonardo da Vinci that may help you in your quest. She must keep them in her apartments. You will have to persuade her to invite you into them.
I have received your message and am working on seducing Madame, but it's no simple task. Otherwise, I have reached Leonardo's study, which has hardly changed since his departure. Apart from a few forgotten sketches, I haven't found anything that could be of any real help in finding the notebook. I continue my investigations. I've got enough. I'd do better to find something to help me to breathe. Perfect, but it's not hot enough. Just a few more seconds. I should chase the bees away first. The smoke apparatus next to it should help me. It's no longer necessary.
Look here, you've got a nerve, Mr. Valdo. This is my place. It may be modest, but you can't come in like that.
Oh, pardon me, Saturnin. I didn't know you lived here. I just came to find a fountain mechanism that Leonardo da Vinci must have left here.
You're a magician, sir. How did you know that thing was here?
Intuition, Saturnin. Just intuition.
All right, I don't want to know. Take it.
You're too kind.
But don't think of coming to my place again without warning me. I don't like people that poke their noses into everything. However, if you want anything else, perhaps I could sell it to you.
I'll try to remember, though you know what memory can be like. You told me that if I needed anything, you might be able to find it.
Everything I have is here. Show me what you need and we'll see whether it's possible to strike a bargain. That'll be 2 gold coins. That'll be 1 gold coin. That'll be 3 gold coins. That'll be 2 gold coins.
Madame de la Bourdisière seems rather wary, and I don't know how to be more agreeable to her.
I'm no specialist, but I'd say that women like gifts like perfume, flower oils. With a little elegance, and courtesy besides, women's hearts often soften. but I'm not sure whether that's enough. Madame receives the favours of the king, so she's used to sumptuous gifts and being the centre of attraction.
I've repaired the bridge and seen the mill you told me about.
Perfect. Does it still work?
Yes, I've freed the water wheel. It should work now.
Thank you, Mr. Valdo. You've done me a great service.
I've never seen a mill like that before.
It's not surprising. It's unique. Well, it can be used to both mill grain and make paper pulp.
I noticed I've made paper pulp, but how does one make the sheets?
With the press.
I found 2 frames in the beehive. Do you know how to extract the honey?
I should be able to do that, but I'll keep one of them.
It would have surprised me if you'd rendered me a service for nothing.
It's an honest bargain, sir, unless you'd rather do it alone.
All right, all right. You always give me the impression of pulling the wool over my eyes.
Come back later. I'll deal with it.
Well done, Valdo. It's magnificent.
Thank you, madam, but I played only a small role. It was Leonardo's idea.
The fountain is magnificent. A beautiful piece of work, worthy of one of Leonardo's heirs.
Thank you. I hoped it would please you. I've got the bridge to work again.
Thank you. That bridge can be most useful to us. Decidedly, you're a perfect gentleman. Could you do one last thing for me?
Of course, I'm listening.
Take the lyre that's behind me. We shall talk about it later. Play me a melody, please.
Something's still missing. It looks as if it's ready.
It smells divine. Where did you find it? These oils are very precious.
I distilled them here with the roses from your garden. I didn't think you'd be against me using them for this.
On the contrary, you've done very well. You really are a most resourceful man. My necklace! Where did you find it? I've looked for it everywhere.
On the stairs, you must have dropped it. However, a stone is missing that I didn't find.
Yes, it fell out a long time ago. Thank you so much. I'm very attached to it. Oh, how I love music. Unfortunately, it doesn't love me in return. My voice is broken. I must have caught a cold during my journey. I shouldn't have sung. And my chambermaid isn't here to make me one of her potions. She's chosen the wrong time to visit her sister.
That's just my luck. If she can't talk, she won't be able to help me with my investigation. There must be a way of curing that. Perhaps Saturnin knows a remedy. It's pointless to insist. I must find a remedy, otherwise she won't tell me anything. The Path of Pleasures. If I'm not mistaken, the room in which I sleep is just behind this wall. Leonardo was definitely a man who was fond of mysteries. The passage must also open on this side. I'll take care of that later.
Here is what you asked me for.
Thank you, Saturnin. Madame de la Bourdisière's lost her voice. I wonder whether you knew of a good remedy.
She's sung too much again. The best remedy is a syrup made of honey, thyme, lemon and water.
It looks as if it's ready.
Thank you very much. I will soon get well again with this. What's more, it's delicious. I like you more and more, Valdo. Follow me. I have something to show you. Here are my apartments. What do you think of them?
You're well installed, and I see that you really do have some of Da Vinci's works.
The two drawings are over there, and there's the telescope behind you. It's damaged.
May I look at them?
Of course, now that you're here.
You're well installed, and I see that you really do have some of Da Vinci's works.
The two drawings are over there, and there's the telescope behind you. It's damaged.
This sketch must have been done by Leonardo. Only he could succeed in drawing a portrait like this. A famous sketch of the Battle of Anghiari. It's here after all. My employer's well informed. Babou took great care not to tell me that she hid it here. Anyway, it doesn't matter. She's finally shown me where it is. I'll see to that later. Babou's very attached to it, and I've nothing to gain by upsetting her. It looks a lot like the Venetian cabinet that's in Leonardo's room. Is this where you discovered the sketch of the Battle of Anghiari?
Yes, it was there on the easel.
It's truly magnificent. I understand why you kept it for yourself.
Do you really have to take it back to Melzi?
Who knows, I may never be able to find it.
I hope.
You said it didn't work, it's a shame. Perhaps it's only something small, like a broken lens.
I don't know anything about it, but please, if you think you can repair it.
That's what I thought. One of the lenses is broken. I have to repair it first. The lens is stuck. I need something to release it. That's what I thought. One of the lenses is broken.
Can you see anything?
Yes, I've just seen Saturnin hiding a boat. That man's really very mysterious.
It's your imagination. It must be to protect it from the weather.
You may be right, but I think he's behaving more and more strangely.
Don't be so suspicious. It's getting late. You can start your investigation tomorrow. This telescope will perhaps reveal better things than Saturnin coming and going. Believe me, there are more agreeable ways of spending the evening. Come closer.
Good morning, madam.
Good morning, Valdo. You can call me Babou. Madam is too formal and Marie is too sweet. My friends call me Babou.
The king too?
Yes, the king too. Do I detect a hint of jealousy?
I'm not in the least jealous, Babou. As long as he's far away, I have no reason to be jealous of him. Have you used the telescope?
Yes, it's fascinating, but I haven't succeeded in pointing it elsewhere. It hardly moves and seems stuck.
It's not surprising. It hasn't been used for years. I'll see if I can fix it. It seems jammed. It looks as if Saturnin's uncovered a trapdoor while cleaning. It would be more useful a light. It's pitch black inside. I've got some already. This cannon's in bad condition, and it's too dark to try repairing it. There must have been a door, but it's been bricked up. Here's one of the famous prototypes of the flying machines designed by Da Vinci. I'll take care of that later. It's pitch black inside. Here's one of the famous prototypes of the flying machines designed by Da Vinci. What a shame it's damaged. It seems that the steering shaft has disappeared and the right wing has lost one of the struts that held it in position. I have to find something to straighten it. The marks on this plate are too clear to be there by chance. I need some light-coloured powder to show them up. These signs must have a meaning, but what? I'll note them down, one never knows. The path of pleasures. Good metaphor. I'll never open it without a key. It looks as if it's ready. That's perfect. I've got enough for the time being. I've got enough for the time being. What's this? It's very strange. What are these engravings doing in such a strange place? That's strange. All these signs must have a meaning, but I don't think I have the key for decoding them. I'm sure there are more surprises to come. Where could this door lead to?
Is it for me? It's wonderful.
I found it in Leonardo's cabinet. I thought it would suit you perfectly.
Thank you very much.
It seems jammed. That's strange. It seems that Leonardo adjusted the telescope to look towards the inside of the room.
Yes, you're right. I thought he preferred to watch the sky.
I can't see very much. Just part of the drawing hanging on the wall. Leonardo wasn't the type of man to do things randomly, especially when it came to his machines.
That's true. Perhaps the drawing is hiding something.
Was it there before your arrival?
Yes, in exactly the same place.
I'll take a closer look at it. I didn't know about this facet of his character. Leonardo was far more mysterious and secretive than I thought.
Indeed, he was a very secretive man. He liked making up puzzles, riddles, and all kinds of mental games.
Do you know whether he was interested in alchemy?
Not to my knowledge. From what the king told me, he was rather dubious about it, calling it the work of charlatans. It's rather a shame. I've long been interested in the works of alchemists, and I'm sure that a mind such as his could have contributed much to this discipline.
But perhaps he changed his mind.
What makes you say that?
I don't know. Nothing definite, just intuition. That's what I thought. Leonardo used invisible ink to hide a message in this drawing. You're right, Leonardo did use his telescope to look at the sky, but not necessarily the one we thought. The drawing hid a celestial map and a sketch of the telescope. It looks very similar to the one here, but I noticed that the lenses seem to be fixed. Doesn't that remind you of something?
No, but you ought to talk to Saturnin about it. He cleaned this room before I moved in. He might know where they've gone.
I'll go and see. Thank you, Babou. This man really doesn't inspire my trust. According to what he says, he's never set foot in this part of the manor. Saturnin will never let me enter his place like this. Good day, Saturnin.
Good day, sir. Is your research going well?
Yes, fine. I've just made an interesting discovery in Babou's sitting room, an astronomical telescope built by Leonardo.
Babou? Ah, from what you say, you were able to soften Madame's attitude.
That's enough, Saturnin. From what I understand, you're the one that cleaned her apartments before she moved in. You said you'd never set foot in them.
It was a long time ago, sir. Everything must have changed since. That's why I said nothing to you about it.
Rubbish. You know exactly which of Leonardo's works are in her apartments, but you prefer to lie as usual.
You're very hard on me, sir. It's normal not to tell a stranger what a lady's apartments contain.
What a fine soul. While we're about it, Babou and I think that 2 circular lenses that should be fixed to the telescope are missing.
And you think I have them?
Precisely, Saturnin, and Madame de la Bourdesière would very much like to recover them.
You're cunning, sir. If Madame wants them, I can't easily refuse. However, I'm really sorry, but I don't have anything like what you've described.
I'm sure he's not telling the truth. There's no point in insisting. He's too stubborn. I have to find a way to calm his suspicion if I want to recover those lenses.
Thank you very much, sir. It's delicious.
I'm delighted you like it.
I suppose you must have need of me to be so friendly.
Your thoughts are running wild. I was just trying to be pleasant.
Very well, I'll give you the lenses. Otherwise you'll never leave me alone. You're lucky there for Madame de la Bourdesière. Otherwise it would have cost you more than a few drops of brandy.
I suppose so.
They're in my cabinet. Go ahead, you know the way. Don't search everywhere. The lenses are in the cabinet.
Don't let him out of your sight, Saturnin. I want to know exactly how far he's progressed at our next meeting. What's all this about? Who would want to have me spied on? And what's Saturnin doing in this affair? I must find out the truth about this matter. Well, well, here's the coins he took from me. I'm not sure I should do that. I found a worrying message at Saturnin's.
Really? What does it say?
I think he's hired to watch me.
Watch you? But why? And above all, for whom?
I haven't any idea.
Unless you're hiding something from me, I can't see the point of spying on you. You're anxious for nothing. I'm sure you misunderstood the message.
If you say so. Perhaps I should tell her the real reason for my being here. Babou, I have something to confess to you.
What? You're not one of Melzi's pupils? And your so-called studies were merely a pretext for searching my manor?
But
So you've taken me for a dupe? I know that you're looking for a secret notebook that Leonardo hid here. I've searched for it myself, in vain. But you seem cleverer than I.
who told you about it?
Your curiosity? You seem more interested in Leonardo's riddles than his work.
I'm sorry, Babou, but
Don't be sorry, Valdo. Rather try and lay your hands on the Philosopher's Stone.
first look for the stars. Then find the Philosopher's Stone. And the path to power will open up before you. First, look for the stars. Then find the Philosopher's Stone, and the path to power will open up before you. First, seek the stars, then find the Philosopher's Stone, and the path of power will open up before you.
The Philosopher's Stone. He spoke of the Philosopher's Stone. I don't believe it. He found it. You're right. Leonardo obviously practiced alchemy, and the Philosopher's Stone is here.
Perhaps, but don't let's celebrate too quickly. The riddle above all speaks about stars.
First, seek the stars. Yes, that's right. He insisted on the order of events. But you do realize, Valdo, the Philosopher's Stone.
I know, Babou, but don't worry. If it's here, I'll surely find it. In the meantime, I must discover to what the constellation I saw in the telescope corresponds.
What did it look like?
A lozenge topped by a fifth star.
The Lyre, Valdo. I'm sure it was the constellation of Lyre. Perhaps Leonardo's celestial globe contains the solution to this part of the riddle.
Thank you, Your Majesty. This celestial globe is a real masterpiece.
I knew that it would please you. It's a gift from Henry, the King of England. If you look closely at it, you'll see that it's not just a globe.
It's a secret box. And in it I shall place one of the keys that will protect the passage.
It's a very good idea. And what about the stone?
All in good time, Your Majesty. The most urgent matter is to protect the path that leads to your castle. Then I promise you I shall look into these alchemical whims.
You are alone in daring to speak to me like this, Leonardo. Whims, you say?
Indeed, Majesty. You are my friend, and as such, I must speak to you frankly, whatever the cost. You should not desire the impossible, Francois. There, that is what I'm trying to tell you.
Leonardo definitely had the courage of his convictions. He spoke of the path that leads to the King's chateau, the path of power. It's the door of the underground passage to which the riddle refers. The medallion that I've just found is one of its keys, and the Stone of the Wise should give me the other one.
It's Alcahest, the Manor cat.
Alcahest? That's a strange name. Does it mean anything in particular?
I don't think so.
That name reminds me of something. You seem in better spirits than earlier on.
It's been a long time since I tasted a drink like this.
Is this animal yours?
It's Alcahest, the Manor cat.
Alcahest? That's a strange name. Does it mean anything in particular?
I don't think so.
That name reminds me of something. Better let him sleep it off. Saturnin will never let me enter his place like this. The globe has opened. It was really magnificent. I wonder where Leonardo got the idea for a hiding place.
He was overflowing with imagination.
I find a medallion inside the globe. I've succeeded in decoding the first part of the riddle, though I don't know where all this is going to take me.
To the Philosopher's Stone. Who knows, that would be marvellous.
Then seek the Philosopher's Stone. I wonder what Leonardo could have invented to hide it.
No idea, but I'm sure you'll find it.
Does Alcahest's name mean anything to you?
Yes, it's the name of the Manor cat. But wait. Alcahest also means Philosopher's Stone.
That's it. Thank you, Babou. That name struck a chord, but I couldn't remember what. Another of Leonardo's enigmas. When he told us to seek the Stone of the Wise, he was in fact speaking of the cat.
If I remember well, he wears a medallion.
It must be the second key to the path of power. Somewhere here there's a passage that leads to the King's chateau, isn't there?
Yes, there's an underground passage, but I don't know how to enter it. However, I'm surprised that you know about it.
Simple intuition, but it's not important. I went down to the cellars. That's where the underground passage must arrive. I'm going back. There's something I must have overlooked. I've got enough. Ah, there you are at last, Alcahest. I hope you haven't eaten all the pigeons. I thought I'd never find you, pussycat. Thank you, Alcahest. I hope this medallion will finally open the passage for me. I've got enough. Perfect, but it's not hot enough. Just a few more seconds. It's pitch black inside. It looks like the stone that's missing from Babou's necklace. What's it doing here? It's too dangerous. The king must surely have this entrance to his castle guarded. I wasn't expecting this passage to be so crowded. Who would want to come to talk here, of all places? I'd do better to be more discreet.
Everything's going as planned, and even better. Young Valdo has taken his mission to heart. He still hasn't found the Codex, but according to the latest news, he's on the right path. What's more, he might be on the path to finding the Stone of the Wise.
If what you say is true, my lord will be delighted. I suppose we wait to see where his investigations lead before intervening.
Precisely. If the stone exists, we must not let it escape. As soon as he has found it and has the codex, take everything and get rid of him as planned. We must not lose sight of our chief goal. The codex must be destroyed.
You can count on me. I shall be worthy of our brotherhood.
I'm certain of that. Given your price, it would be most upsetting if you failed.
I've waited long enough. It would be better not to hang around. There's no point. I've overheard enough. It's too dangerous. The king must surely have this entrance to his castle guarded.
Valdo, come quickly.
What's happening?
Someone's waiting for you in the Great Hall.
Good evening, Valdo.
But you're...
Francois I, King of France. I like to know those who try to enter my castle. The underground passage you took is supposed to be impregnable.
All I did is to follow the clues left by Leonardo da Vinci, Your Majesty.
And that's the reason why you're still alive. You're seeking the famous codex that Leonardo may have left at Cloux, aren't you?
How do you know?
It is I who asked the questions. Were you alone in the underground passage?
No, there were two men whose appearance I couldn't see. They were planning to kill me once I'd found the notebook and the Philosopher's Stone that they believe is hidden here. They also talked of destroying the manuscript.
The Philosopher's Stone. Those who are manipulating you do not know Leonardo. From now on, you're working for me, Valdo. Find the manuscript and try to learn whether these men are planning to steal anything else from me. Da Vinci left 4 series of signs in the Manor. They will guide you to the manuscript, and this paper may help you to decode them. When you have fulfilled your mission, attach this ring to the black messenger pigeon's leg. Hector, one of my trusted men, will come to recover the codex and help you to leave the manor.
Last night was full of surprises. My mysterious employer wants to have me killed, and the king could have me arrested. My only chance of escaping is to get my hands on the notebook and the secret it contains. Whether it deals with the Philosopher's Stone or other things, it's a much coveted object. Once I get hold of it, I'll be better placed to bargain for my salvation.
Come quickly, Valdo. I've got to talk to you. It's most urgent. Guards are taking up position in the garden. Whoever hired you must think you intend to double-cross them and has decided to prevent it.
Hired? What are you talking about?
Valdo, the king and I are very good friends. He told me of your discussion last night. You're in great danger. They must imagine that you've already laid your hands on the codex or the stone, even if unfortunately it probably doesn't exist. The guards must think you've gone. It's your only chance to get away.
Isn't there any way to stop them? You're the king's friend, aren't you?
Quite, but it doesn't always make things easier for me. With Francois gone, I have little support at Amboise, and the Queen is the last person to help me. Nonetheless, I should be able to prevent them from entering the manor, though I'm afraid it'll be more difficult for the garden. You'll have to be very careful if you want to escape. You'll have to be very careful if you want to escape.
These lenses were made to look at the map. I'd better not stay here.
Sir, what's happening? The garden's been invaded by guards.
You mean you noticed? I wouldn't have thought you'd be surprised by such news.
Pardon?
Don't try and deny it. I found a message ordering you to keep a watch on me. Tell me, Saturnin, how much are they paying you for it?
I really don't know what you're talking about.
What about the letter that was laying around your place? I suppose I invented it.
I'm not saying that, but perhaps it wasn't for me. Do you really think that anyone would waste their time teaching a simple peasant to read? No, sir. If you found a letter addressed to me, it means that someone is trying to fool you.
The evidence stands up. He's talking sense. Furthermore, only one person knew that I was on the trail of the stone. I must return to see Babou in order to set matters straight. Tell me, Saturnin, how much are they paying you for it?
I really don't know what you're talking about.
What about the letter that was laying around your place? I suppose I invented it.
I'm not saying that, but perhaps it wasn't for me. Do you really think that anyone would waste their time teaching a simple peasant to read? No, sir. If you found a letter addressed to me, it means that someone is trying to fool you.
The evidence stands up. He's talking sense. Furthermore, only one person knew that I was on the trail of the stone. I must return to see Babou in order to set matters straight. There's no point in insisting. I'll have to see Babou. I could take a look in her Venetian cabinet. That would certainly be the place she would hide something. I'll never open it without a key. It's the letter of introduction that I gave to Babou on arrival. But who could have written it? That's just what I thought. The letter contains another message. Everything is going as planned. Put it in a safe place once the king has left. Your guest will make an ideal culprit. But what does it mean? What does she want to have me accused of?
What are you doing there, Valdo? I won't allow you.
I've discovered the truth about you. You've fooled me completely. Can you tell me for what plot I'll be the ideal culprit?
I'll tell you everything, but you must know that I had no choice. They blackmailed me. A long time ago, I knew the Emperor Charles V, the sworn enemy of the King of France. I don't know how the news got here or who is using it against me, but someone has threatened to disclose this old relationship to the king. François I purchased the Mona Lisa shortly before Leonardo's death and left it here in the chapel.
The Mona Lisa's just below?
Yes, until this morning. I was ordered to hide it in the dovecote where someone will come to collect it tomorrow night. I didn't have any choice, Valdo. Try to understand.
You're asking too much of me, madam. You help a stranger to carry off the Mona Lisa and then have me accused of theft, and you want me to understand? You've lied all the time. By the way, I found this in the underground passage where you said you'd never set foot.
Valdo, please.
Goodbye. I think we've said enough. Undoubtedly other surprises must be in store. I thought Babou was an ally and Saturnin an enemy. When all's said and done, one cannot trust appearances. My position is increasingly difficult. If I want to escape, I must find the Codex and prevent the Mona Lisa from being stolen. There's no question of going back to see her at the moment. Even if it wasn't her who snared me, she's not exactly blameless. You were right, Saturnin. I know who was given the task of watching me.
Madam, I suppose.
Quite right. You're more astute than I thought.
Besides myself and her, there's hardly anybody else at the manor. I mean, until the arrival of the guards.
I can't hold on any longer, Saturnin. I'll never succeed in solving Leonardo's puzzles in time. I'll end up in the hands of the guards outside.
You're losing your morale, sir. You're much closer to the goal than I expected.
Pardon?
It's high time to tell you the truth. I was Leonardo's valet for many years, and before he died he entrusted me with an important mission. The legend is true. He did hide a manuscript in these walls. To prevent it from falling into just any hands, he invented puzzles, codes for protecting access to it. My role was to deliver the last key to he who understood them, and to my great astonishment, it appears to be you. The degrees, Valdo. You must subtract 10 from the stars, then from the planets, and add as many to the moon.
I can't hold on any longer, Saturnin. I'll never succeed in solving Leonardo's puzzles in time. I'll end up in the hands of the guards outside.
The degrees, Valdo. You must subtract 10 from the stars, then from the planets, and add as many to the moon.
I need to buy something from you.
Unfortunately, I can't help you. With all these guards outside, it's not the time to draw attention by coming to and fro without reason.
Why did Leonardo entrust this secret to you rather than to Melzi?
Francesco already had his hands full with the treatise on painting, and Leonardo thought that his secret would be better guarded here by Francois I and I, rather than in Italy, where he also had enemies. But perhaps it was a mistake. The proof is, I suppose you're here on behalf of Florence.
I have no idea who sent me, or who's using me, to be more precise.
Many people could be interested in the Mona Lisa, Valdo. From Florence to Charles V's empire. Many would pay dearly to possess it. As for the manuscript, even if it wasn't what your employer was really seeking, it would be very unfortunate for him to lay his hands on it. The main thing is to take the manuscript far away from here and ensure that the Mona Lisa doesn't leave the manor. Those behind this are not important. They're powerful, but you can prove you're more cunning than them.
The door to the chapel is closed. Have you got the key?
No, only Madam has the key. Now is the moment to settle your accounts.
Valdo, I didn't think I would see you again.
Me either, I must admit, but I need your help.
I'm listening to you.
I must enter the chapel. According to Saturnin, you're the only one to have the key.
That's true. Take it. Be careful, Valdo. The guards will give you no quarter.
Don't worry, I don't intend to stay here forever.
You're right. You must escape as soon as possible. But please remember to say goodbye to me before.
You can count on me. I'd better not stay here. This chapel is so beautiful. It's not surprising that Leonardo chose it as the hiding place for his codex. The problem now is to find it. A lily, exactly like the one on the king's signet ring. This scepter is superb. It can't be here by chance. That is where the Mona Lisa should be, before Babou moved it. I'd better not stay here. I'd better be careful. The sentries are still waiting for me. I'll have to find a way of distracting the guards if I want to reach the other part of the garden. Hey, let me go!
Certainly not, sir. You're our prisoner.
I'll do well to find a way out of here quickly. There's not much chance that they've left the door open, but it seems that the key is still in the lock. Goodness, Saturnin isn't very tidy, but maybe it's a good thing. This sheet might be useful to me. Perfect. I just hope that she came across the sheet of paper. The passage must also open on this side. But is it the same code? Now's the time to find out. Not yet. With a little luck, I should be able to pass by without being seen. The guards certainly won't be expecting me to travel by boat. I've got enough. Very well. Now I'll have to find a way to put it in a safe place and escape before the thief comes to take it. Unless I replace it with a copy. Francesco dismissed me from his workshop for having copied one of the master's drawings. However, I'm sure he'd support me if he knew the circumstances. Copy the Mona Lisa. Now that's a challenge. Great, here's my messenger. Go, take this ring to the Chateau of Amboise. Hector must be informed as soon as possible. Now I have to find a way out of here and get back to the manor.
Is anyone there?
I haven't got any time to lose. If I want to escape, I have to do it before that man comes out again. I'd better be careful. The sentries are still waiting for me. Hector will certainly come via the underground passage. I could go and meet him. Why did Leonardo entrust this secret to you rather than to Melzi?
Francesco already had his hands full with the treatise on painting, and Leonardo thought that his secret would be better guarded here by Francois I and I, rather than in Italy, where he also had enemies. But perhaps it was a mistake. The proof is, I suppose you're here on behalf of Florence.
I have no idea who sent me, or who's using me, to be more precise.
Many people could be interested in the Mona Lisa, Valdo. From Florence to Charles V's empire. Many would pay dearly to possess it. As for the manuscript, even if it wasn't what your employer was really seeking, it would be very unfortunate for him to lay his hands on it. The main thing is to take the manuscript far away from here and ensure that the Mona Lisa doesn't leave the manor. Those behind this are not important. They're powerful, but you can prove you're more cunning than them.
These nails must be used for stretching a cord to make the same kind of grid that's on the blank canvas. It's an ideal reference grid for painting a portrait or a faithful copy of an original. The best way to reproduce Leonardo's sfumato is to use a similar technique to his. Now that the main areas of colour are in place, I simply have to work with the glaze to bring out the model and details. Certainly not. I have to work on the transparency if I'm going to reproduce Leonardo's sfumato effect. It won't be much use without colour. It's all right like that, though perhaps I need to change the colour a little. It's all right like that, though perhaps I need to change the colour a little. Perfect. I finally succeeded. I think it'll be difficult to tell the difference between them.
So you've done it. You've found the notebook.
Hector, is it you?
Yes, it is.
You merge well with the darkness of the passage. I might have mistaken you for one of the men outside.
I'm not here to be noticed, sir. I assume you have contacted me because you have the Codex and know a little more about who is behind this plot.
Yes, I found the notebook. Here it is. Put it in a safe place. It's far more precious than we thought. As for the investigators of the plot, I still don't know who they are, but I do know that they intended to steal the Mona Lisa left here by the king from the chapel.
Is it still there?
No, but don't worry. I have a plan to stop them. I'll replace the painting they intended to steal with a fake.
An ingenious idea.
I've done it. Thanks to your indications, I've found Leonardo's notebook.
Very well. Then you must not stay here any longer.
I thought of using the flying machine.
That's a good idea, but I'm afraid it's damaged. You should be able to repair the broken wing with this.
Thank you.
It's nothing, Valdo. I know that it would have pleased Leonardo to see a handsome young man sit astride his invention and fly away with it. But be careful. I won't let you escape so that you can sell the Codex to the first bidder. I've known men like you. Half honest, half thief. The greatest and worst of them was called Saleh, and he left the boat just before it sank. It was the 1st of May, 1519. Leonardo died the day after, a little over 300 years ago. When his disciple had left the room, Leonardo took advantage of his absence to entrust me, his valet, with his greatest secret.
I haven't any more time to lose. I'm going to die soon, but I must do one last thing. I have hidden a manuscript of the utmost importance in the Manor. It gives the descriptions of the science practiced in classical times by Archimedes, Hero, and others. These writings are precious and have been kept secret so that they do not fall into the hands of the many fanatics that have so often attempted to silence science. One day, I hope, someone will be worthy enough to find them, protect them, and hand them on so that they will never be lost. That is why I have left behind me many clues and enigmas that only someone who has succeeded in learning from Francesco and the King of France can understand. However, neither of them knows about it. It is to you, my loyal valet, that I entrust this secret along with the last clue that leads to the Codex.
It's fascinating. How could he have got hold of such a treasure?
It's not important. Now you understand the importance of your mission, your inheritance. It's now up to you to protect the notebook and the secrets it contains.
I would like to, but it's Hector who has it. Francois I asked me to entrust it to him.
It's out of the question to let him have it. You cannot refuse your role. Even the king has no word to say in this. No matter what the cost, you must recover it. I shall look after informing His Majesty.
Thanks again, Saturnin. I would never have succeeded without you.
I certainly wouldn't contradict you, young man. Let's go now. As soon as you've spotted it, I'll mount the flying machine on the gangway. It's the only place from which you can take off. I almost forgot. We need something to hide your flight.
Such as a smoke screen?
You've got one! That's perfect! Give it to me and I'll take care of it. Good luck, Valdo.
Here's one of the famous prototypes of the flying machines designed by Da Vinci. What a shame it's damaged. It seems that the steering shaft has disappeared and the right wing has lost one of the struts that held it in position. It doesn't need much to make it work. Perfect. This time it appears to be complete. It remains to be seen if it can fly. But where did Hector go? He was supposed to help me to escape and now he's disappeared. Strange. I hope he hasn't run off with the manuscript. I have to get it back, whatever the cost. Hey, what's happening? It must be Hector. Unfortunately, he'll never give me the manuscript without being ordered to by the king. I don't have any choice. I'll have to take it back by force. Perfect. If I can advance without making a noise, I should be able to knock him out and recover the manuscript. I'm sorry, Hector. I didn't have any choice.
There, that's it at last. I've made Francesco my main heir. However, it is to you, a person I don't know, that I leave my most precious treasure. It was given to me by my master Verrocchio, who was given it by his own master. This manuscript has been passed down through history, since classical times, to you. Compiled by Hypatia of Alexandria, a mathematician and philosopher, these pages are all that survive from the thousands that constituted the wealth of the great library of Alexandria. Naturally, they have been a wonderful source of inspiration, though what I discovered went far beyond my wildest dreams. This manuscript contains the secret hiding place of the most precious treasure of all. Men and women who were able to foresee the wars of classical times put the most valuable items of the Museum of Alexandria in a safe place. And now it is on you that the duty of protecting them befalls.
Babou, it's done. It's time for me to go.
I'm happy that you've managed to escape the guards.
I still haven't succeeded yet. I still have to leave the manor.
I know, but you've managed so well up to now. There's no reason why you shouldn't avoid them one more time.
I hope you're right.
What about Leonardo's manuscript? Have you found it?
You're incorrigible, still as curious as ever.
I understand, Valdo. Don't say anything. Take your secret with you.
You couldn't have said it better, my dear.
I hope you don't feel too badly towards me for having put you in such danger. I never wanted to.
It's forgotten.
Thank you, Valdo. But please, I've one last favor to ask of you.
I'm listening.
Take me with you.
But Babou, it's too dangerous. I'm not even sure that Leonardo's flying machine can really fly. Anyway, your place is here.
I'm prepared to take the risk. That's not the question, Valdo. I just want to know whether you want me to come with you.
With pleasure. Hurry, Babou. There's no time to lose. Saturnin is a man worthy of trust. The machine is there just as he promised. Now we have to find out if it works.
Unfortunately, you won't have the opportunity to know.
Hector, what are you doing here?
I've come to recover the manuscript that you dared to steal.
Hold on, you don't understand. If the king knew what this notebook contained, he wouldn't prevent me from leaving with it.
I'm sure you're right, but he doesn't know, and it is with me that you must deal. I obey no man, not even the king. I knew that this adventure would be highly profitable. One of the most famous paintings in the world, and the heretical manuscript hidden by Leonardo. I'm in the process of pulling off one of the best subterfuges of my life. And it's all down to you, Valdo, and the short-sightedness of Francois I, who took me for his confidant.
You have no idea what you're doing, Hector. I'm sure it isn't you who's responsible for such a stratagem. Do you really believe that those behind all this would allow you to leave just like that, in perfect health and with all these treasures?
Don't try to frighten me, Valdo. I was able to trick the King of France. Nobody can stop me now. Those who wish to recover the manuscript will simply have to pay the price.
You're too naive. They'll never let you live. You know too much.
You're mistaken. It's you who are going to die.
I had to hear him to believe it. Hector, a traitor. Here we are. All right. That is until someone else comes along. Valdo, it's time for you to go and put the manuscript somewhere safe. You're worthy of the trust I placed in you, and of Leonardo's heritage. I see that you've also won Babou's heart. Take care of her, Valdo, and farewell.